So Apple recently sent me the M1 MacBook Pro and the M1 MacBook Air to review. And spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the video already, I really like them. They're very good laptops. Go watch the video after this one. But they also sent me one more thing, and it's this. The M1 Mac Mini. The M1 Mac Mini is essentially the desktop version of those laptops. It's pretty much the same insides, but it also has a vent at the back for its fans. So it can potentially hold that max performance even longer than the MacBook Pro could. So I was pretty impressed by the MacBook Pro's and the MacBook Air's ability to edit, and this potentially should be able to do an even better job, if not at least on par. So I'm gonna try and edit the entire MacBook review video on this. Now I'm actually used to using a pretty highly spec'd Intel PC for editing. It's that thing over there that looks like an egg, and it's got LEDs in it, so you know it's for gamers. Also for editors though, bet you didn't know that. But I wanna know if this can keep up. It's probably less than a quarter of the size, and it also has about a quarter of the RAM in it. So yeah, if it can keep up and play my files, I'll be pretty impressed. Yeah, let's set it up and see what it can do. All right, so there it is, the Mac Mini. It is a box full of computer parts with an Apple logo on it. Is it full of power? We'll find out. Oh, Jesus. What do we got? 2 USBs, 2 Thunderbolt, an HDMI, 3.5 out for your sound, headphones or speakers. We've also got Ethernet, and we've got the hole for the power. The Thunderbolt also does video out, so you can have up to 2 displays with this. So you got an HDMI with your Thunderbolt, or you can do 2 Thunderbolt out. It's a weird sort of desktop setup, because if you're going to have this sitting on your desk and you're facing this direction, you don't have any USB ports here, so you're going to have to reach around the back to plug stuff in. And it's pretty small, so that's not a huge issue. But I feel like if I had this set up for a long period of time, I'd probably end up buying some kind of USB hub anyway to stick out the back of one of these and then kind of have it sitting around the front. Yeah, similar to the laptops, I don't think this has enough ports for what I want to use it for. But if you're just the sort of person who has like a wireless keyboard and mouse and doesn't plug a whole lot into their computer, this is more than enough. Anyway, let's set this up. So throw the HDMI in there. I'm also using my backup wired keyboard and mouse, so I don't take my entire computer setup apart, because I have to use that today. Here we go. A very nice looking box has immediately been turned into a wired mess of USB peripherals. Oh, and the last thing, of course, the hard drive that contains all of the video. Oh, and the power supply. Of course, gotta throw the power supply in there. There you go. There's my rig. All right, turning it on. It has a speaker in it. I forgot these have speakers in them. That's pretty funny. So, Premiere Pro. I'm running the beta version, and you might notice it opens so damn fast. I love that. I love how fast that these programs are opening on these Macs. All right, first thing to do, don't look in my secrets folder, is import all the footage. So I've got all my footage in there. I've got my sequence ready. It is time to start editing. I just kind of want to test a couple of things with playback. If we start playing one of these, it seems to be jumping around pretty well. This is only 1080p footage, and it's a pretty low bitrate, so it shouldn't be that hard to play back. But you know, look, it's running pretty well. Let's play back some of the big B-roll files. This is 4K. I'm gonna crank it to full, see what happens. So this is playing back a 4K clip. It's at 50 frames per second. Look, it's playing back perfectly fine on full. A lot of computers can't do that, and this is a tiny box, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, let's try another one. Oh, okay, so once you start going faster, it starts to slow down a little bit. But yeah, if it's playing back normally, or if you're skipping around, look at that, it's totally fine. Can't be impressed, that's awesome. Let's try one more. Rusty looking sad. I'm trying to get him to look at the laptop, but he won't. Now, he did sit there, like I didn't put that laptop underneath him. I was shooting the laptop by itself. He just follows me around while I shoot stuff, so he decided he wanted to jump on the bed, so he got in the video. Here we are, it's just going. So yeah, this is really good. So I'm probably going to stop recording and just jump into editing so I can focus on that. But I'll record some clips if anything interesting happens and show you right now. Okay, so it's been about 2 days since I last recorded. This edit ended up being quite a big video. I just wanted to make it good, and look, there's still things I want to do to it, but it needs to go up so I can move on to the next one, which is this one. So yeah, time to finish it. There were only a couple of little issues that I noticed while I was editing, and it wasn't even that bad. First of all, I noticed it wouldn't play back certain files very well, particularly the MP4s that I had ripped from YouTube. Not really sure what that was about, but I just noticed a bit of slowdown on those compared to the MOVs that come out of my camera. The second issue was during some playback of screen recorded footage that had come from the MacBook Pros. There was some artifacting going on, and yeah, just some like weird stuff was happening on screen. But I tried it on my Intel PC. Some of the clips are fine, but a couple of the clips actually also stored on the PC. So I'm thinking it might be an issue with QuickTime and its screen recorder on the M1 Max rather than Premiere Pro playing it back. Once I converted those clips to MP4s, it didn't seem to have an issue anymore. So now it's all totally fine. The major issue that I had though was actually playing back these files. So we've got the Tech Finder logo, it's coming up, plays out, totally fine, right? It's rendered though. If I look at this file in source, it just gets stuck. It will not play on the M1 Mac Mini. It's a huge 4K file. It needs to be see-through here so it can wipe over stuff. So it's a big animation file, but I couldn't play it back at all. I actually had to move to my PC to finish the edit. It just will not play. Same with the backgrounds. So see that scroll, see this blue background? This is an animation as well. If I just move that a little bit, it's completely just broken the whole thing. So at the end of the day, I had to take this file and move it over to my PC to finish the edit in order to see what these animations were doing. Apart from that, everything went smoothly. I would say that the animations are just way too big, and an easy fix would be to just reduce their size because they're 4K, they're big animation files. It's still a bit confused, but that is all. Like otherwise, it was totally fine. Yeah, I'm really impressed. So the last thing to do would be to actually export it. I exported it on the PC once all the animations are in, but let's export it on the Mac and see how it goes. I have no idea how long this will take. By the way, I assume it'll take longer than the PC, but who knows? All right, got my coffee, got the video totally exported finally. And the final export time was about 8 minutes, which is not too bad, honestly. Like it was a pretty big video with a lot of stuff going on. So 8 minutes, I mean, I'm happy with that. It did come out at 4 minutes, 45 seconds on my dedicated editing machine, but that thing is made for editing and gaming. I'm totally happy with 8 minutes on the Mac Mini. One thing I did notice was the fans were barely doing anything. I couldn't hear them, barely got hot. So, you know, it wasn't struggling at all to get that video out. So I've used this for a couple of days now, and I think I know who should buy one of these. I think this is for someone who can't afford a big desktop, but still needs that power and reliability to use the apps that they need to use. I'm just thinking about like me in uni. I couldn't afford to buy a desktop or a laptop that would allow me to use apps like Premiere Pro. It just wasn't good enough. So I couldn't end up like trying to sell my services as an editor or even learn how to use the programs. I had to go to uni to use the machines there. If you've got $1,000 and you need to buy a really good computer, this is probably what you end up picking up because it's super powerful and super cheap. But if you're someone who needs to do their job, like I was over the last couple of days, I want something a little bit more reliable and a little bit more powerful. Would I recommend anyone pick this up? Yes, definitely. If you're a student, if you need a computer and you don't have a huge amount of money to spend on a desktop, this will be more than enough. This will get you there. This will do exactly what you need. I'm very excited to see what Apple does with the M1 chip next, because this thing is probably the cheapest thing that'll have it. What's the most expensive one gonna have? I guess you'll just have to subscribe to this channel to find out. Thank you for watching Tech Finder. If this video was entertaining or informative to you, please give us a like. We really appreciate it. And make sure to subscribe for more videos. I've got a video coming out very soon about which M1 Mac you should buy. I have a lot of spicy opinions in that one. So yeah, definitely hit subscribe if you want to see that. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you next time.